Welcome, my naughty little friends, to another round of Dismembered-FM. For all of you who do not know me, I'm Sue, your personal Hicksworth therapist straight out of Germany, trying to speak English and having a lot of trouble with it because I'm rusty as hell, as always. My apologies for not bringing up more videos here, but I thought at the same time as I founded this English channel, it would be a fun idea to, let's say, restructure my private life a little bit more than necessary. So, a victim of this wonderful idea of mine was that my work had to move into this house here because of all the little buggers running around here. My studio went into this room, and we do have to live a little bit with the side noise from a lot of doors that I hear. It's called a hallway, I think, and sunlight coming from over there. I hope you do not mind. The same way, the people here in Germany were not supposed to mind a lot of foreigners coming into this country since 2015. Throughout the years, we saw a little rise in the crime statistics, but this has nothing to do with all those people coming in here. This is at least what the politicians assure us and want to make us believe. I know a lot of foreign workers were coming in here, very professionals, and bad tongues here in Germany say actually these people are very skilled in the use of knives and machetes, and some of them actually think it's a fun idea to have New Year's fireworks within buildings like done in Cologne the other week, where it was very, very fun to see the explosion. But also we do have, as women, a little bit problems with what rhymes on grapes. I know you do know this word way better than I do, and we do not use it here on the channel because it's kind of sort of prohibited from this platform. But yes, we women are supposed to cover ourselves a little bit more because all the foreigners coming into this country are very, very offended seeing a cleavage or a short dress or maybe even a nice little sundress. And yes, there's a child just running through here again, and we are going to ignore it, including the dog running through here. So also, all those women, yes, they do have a little problem running around in a street with those clothes, doing parties and whatever. And yes, cover yourself, duck and cover, because hey, the foreign cultures, they do not want this. They're offended and traumatized. Now, mind you, some of the German politicians are also jumping on the ship that they want to get rid of at least the people with a criminal record. Oh, yeah, it's very easy to see those people with a criminal record because they didn't get rid of them so far and they're collecting them like crazy. And yes, but we do have problems getting rid of them. It's not that easy by German law to get them out of the country, but we do have all those big, great promises because of the election year, and we know what's going to happen anyways. So even if they would be able to do so, we now get, finally, not just men into Europe, no, we get the women as well, at least for all countries the European Court of Justice applies to. The news magazine News just titled something, "The European immigration authorities no longer have to examine asylum applications of Afghan women individually. The female gender alone is enough to obtain a residence permit. This is what the European Court of Justice has now decided." As a pre-story, there were actually two women suing and wanted to have their permit here, and they got through with it. But speaking of female gender, I heard the newest trend is to have a fluid gender. What's about all those men identifying as women? Do they mean those two? Oh, I just love those liberal court decisions. This is just so much fun. But this article is, by the way, from October 6th. The ECJ now decided on Friday, in particular, about the question, can the numerous discriminations to women in Afghanistan be considered together and constitute a persecution in accordance with the Geneva Refugee Convention? And the court ruled yes. Oh, yeah, yes, we can, as always, Bob the Builder. The discriminatory measures are to be regarded as persecution because of their intensity and cumulative effect, according to the judgment of the ECJ. Isn't it wonderful? Bring him on, bring him in. And the article reads further, for the court, an act of persecution can therefore also be an accumulation of several discriminatory measures. Oh, you feminists, here's something for you. This includes, for example, the lack of any legal protection against gender-based and domestic violence, forced marriages, the woman's obligation to fully cover her body and cover up her face, restrict access to health facilities, ban or restrict the pursuit of gainful employment, denying access to education, prohibiting exercise, and preventing participation in political life. This would affect the human dignity. Wonderful. For how many countries does this actually count? I mean, there are more women out there having the same trouble. Okay, this is only for the Afghan women. And yes, as a woman, I do see what happens down there, and it does hurt me to a certain degree. And I'm very, very happy to live in, yes, in the Western world, with Western values, at least as far as we do have them still here. And they did not get lost in all those left-wing thingies going on. But never mind. I do see them. I do see the children. And yes, there's a little bit of pity in me and everything, but we cannot save the entire world. But we are trying to do so, at least when I see this ruling. So if an Afghan woman comes over here, let's say somebody mid-30s, beginning of the 40s, maybe even younger ones. I'm not talking about the older ones and everything, because usually it's the younger ones leaving the country and trying to their pursuit of happiness. In general, they do have a few kids. Here in Germany, it's an average of 1 to 2 children. Everything above that, at least above 3, it's called asocial. I know it for a fact because I do have a bunch of children. It's not seen very, very often, except for some Christians. They do have a lot of children, but we're getting off topic here. Anyway, the standard is 1 to 2 children, maybe 3 at the most. Some do have 4, but that's about it. In those cultures, it's more common for the women to have more children, 4, 5, 6, 7, a lot of them. So now this woman comes over here to this country or to the EU in general with her children. And I personally think you should not, if possible, separate a mother from their children. I do mean that very honest and without any sarcasm. I would not leave my children whatsoever. But this woman is now coming with a bunch of little buggers. She applies here for everything, and we only think about a woman coming in with little children. But a child is considered somebody up to the age of 18. We are not allowed, at least here in Germany, to do x-rays to find out if this person is really 18 or not 25. And what do we know? Does this woman bring in her own children, her siblings, her cousins, whatever else children does she have with her? Because we're not allowed to do a DNA testing. So now we have to trust them. Okay, let's say we trusted that woman and she left her husband because he was beating her up and everything, which is very understandable. Now, in some instances, the couple can get back together. What happens then to the man? Is he allowed to come into the EU as well because we have to keep the family together or not? Usually the ruling here, at least in Germany, is when it comes to women, the men are allowed to bring their women in. So it should be also the other way around. So now we have one woman, a bunch of kids, and a man coming here. This would not be so much of a problem if there wouldn't be a consequence of this ruling. As a consequence of this decision, all Afghan citizens, actually, it's a bad translation, women, who apply for asylum must now be recognized as refugees in the European states, regardless of how their individual situation is. There are currently over 20 million women living in Afghanistan. Do you see where this is going? I'm not implying anything. I'm just reading it and wonder how many more people can we take on here? And I'm not talking about 20 million coming in here. I know it won't be that many. But even if half of it or a quarter of it comes in here, including their children and maybe their men coming later on, who do we know we are bringing in here, particularly from Afghanistan? I don't, but what do I know? I'm just a dopey little therapist from Germany who has no clue. But you are probably way more intelligent than I am and know how to use the comment section down below. and can discuss this whole topic if you like to. Otherwise, comment, share, and please, if you would like to leave a like here or a thumbs up or whatever it is called in English, I'm not very good at it. Do so, and we see each other when I think it's time to vent and rage again here and bring you some news from Europe. I'm out.